Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text 49. Just a second. दूरेण हि अवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणा फलहेतवः. So here Krishna says, so if you see in the third 47th verse, it is about doing our duty, and 48th verse is about with what mentality one should do our duty. The mentality of yogastaha kuru karmani. 47th verse was karmanyeva adhikaraste. How to do our duty but not be attached to the result. 48th verse was, while doing the duty, our mentality should be yogastaha. What is that yogastaha? Connected with Krishna. The 47th verse did not directly reveal to whom it should be. The result should be given. 48th verse revealed that it should be for Krishna, yogastaha. And 49th verse reveals that with what intelligence, what is the right intelligence and what is wrong intelligence while doing the work. So here Krishna says, Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yogat dhananjaya. So keep this avaram karma away. So there are two kinds of karma, avaram karma and varam karma. So what is avaram karma? Avaram karma means that which is abominable. Vara means best. Avara means just the opposite. Durena hi avaram karma. Keep that at a long distance. Any abominable work. Buddhi yogat. How? By buddhi yoga, or the strength of Krishna consciousness, or by intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth. Buddhau sharanam anvicha. In such consciousness, Buddhau sharanam anvicha. You surrender to Krishna and not try to enjoy the result yourself. Because if you try to enjoy the result, it is you become krupanaha phalahetavaha. People who try to enjoy the result, they are phalahetavaha. They are desiring fruitive action. It's like, say you are a teller at a bank, and so your whole sustenance is dependent on taking care of the family by the salary. But you try to loot something out of the given money to you, then you become punishable, isn't it? And then your maintenance itself is compromised. The other example is that, the higher example is that, say a king is promising somebody, you come and do this and this and this for me, you can stay with me and I'll take care of all your necessities. And so this person comes and says, no, I will take care of my own necessities. Just give me some $100 salary per month. So he wants sense gratification. He doesn't want to be under the king. He wants his own life separate from the king in his own hut because he got used to that hut and with holes on top of the roof and with or without proper transportation, struggling for studies of his children and maintenance. But somehow he was getting only $10 a month. I'm just exaggerating, but I'm just giving an example. But he thinks that by getting $100, all his needs are met. So there is a king. King is promising, if you come and live with me, all your needs are taken care. You will never have any problem. You can have an opulent life. Just imagine, living with the king means it's like a king only. You can have the nice air-conditioned rooms, opulent food, shelter, travel. Your family needs are met. Everything is met. But if you want to put a value to your work and enjoy that value, it's like that. So we trying to take sense gratification, a fruitive result out of that work is like that. Is like trying to take one paisa instead of unlimited wealth. Or when God comes to you and asks what you want, you say, I want just some piece of ashes. Is that a smart desire? That is why Krishna says, buddhi yoga, have some intelligence. One who has intelligence, he will not ask for these kind of things. He will seek pleasure in serving Krishna, because that pleasure nobody can come close to. The pleasure of serving Krishna and Krishna consciousness. Don't try to lower that by trying to squeeze some sense gratification. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentions, one who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as the eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagements, save working in Krishna consciousness. So this is an important point. This is the higher duty one can have. Usually people cannot understand how Krishna consciousness is the higher duty, how all my obligations are satisfied. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, Devarshi bhutap tanrunam pitrunam na kinkaro nayam runi charajan sarvatmanaya sharanam charanyam gato mukundam parihritya kartam. So it is said, every one of us who is born has these obligations towards devatas, deva, by performing some yagna, because they are providing this air, light, heat. The sun is providing the heat, the Vayu is providing the air, Indra is providing the rains, Varuna holding these water bodies. But of course we think, oh, they are all naturally there. They're there for my enjoyment, and so on and so forth. But Bhagavad Gita clearly clarifies, Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha. Bhagavad Gita is not a phantasmagoria. Bhagavad Gita is the reality spoken by Lord Krishna. He clearly says these demigods are providing in accordance with the order of Krishna. And all the Vedic scriptures agree. Lord Brahma agrees. All the Acharyas agrees. Lord Brahma says in his Brahma Samhita, Yachchakshuresha savita sakalagrahanam raja samasta suramurti rasesha teja yasyagnaya brahmati sambrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. This Savita, the sun, is eye of the Lord. Et Chakshuresha. Savita. Sakala Grahanam Raja. He is the king of all planets. Samasta Suramurti Rasesha Tejaha. He is having this brilliant effulgence which is keeping this dark world lighted. But he is also roaming, revolving. Sun is not fixed in one place. He goes in an orbit. By whose order? Yasya Agnaya Brahmati. He is roaming by the order of the Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam confirms. Madbhayat vati vatoyam suryastapati madbhayat. Madbhayat varshate devo bhagano bhati madbhayat. The wind is blowing by my order, by my fear. Surya, sun god, is rising on time by my fear. Fear means they're all obedient and subservient to the direction of God. There are two kinds of people. One is Daiva and Asura. Vishnu Bhakta Bhaved Daiva Asurastad Viparyayaha. One who is a Vishnu Bhakta can be called a Daiva. Daiva is, of course, demigod or a Devata who has higher power. But in other sense, if one becomes devoted to Krishna, he can also be categorized as Daiva. We may not have the power of a demigod to control this world, but we are categorized as a Daiva. And Asura means one who does not obey, one who thinks it is there for my enjoyment. I'll just go on enjoy. Who is there to stop me? These are all foolish people, and this world is there for my enjoyment. Isopanishad says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Everything is the place of the Supreme Lord. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Even normally also, if you find a land, nice land, and you want to enjoy that land, will the government agree to you enjoy the land? No. You have to buy the land from the government or to whoever it belongs in whatever corner of the city. You cannot just grab it. You have to pay tax or you have to pay the money for the government to occupy the land. And the land is allocated as your quota. Only that boundary is drawn. They do the survey and you'll be given the deed which will have the boundary. You cannot even cross the boundary. That's called encroachment. And the government has right to take away that part if you encroach on others' property and punish. So why do we think that when this is there, even in an ordinary government, the cosmic government will allow you to enjoy however you like? This is just logical. In one lecture, Prabhupada was challenged. Can you prove me logically God exists? This man was challenging Prabhupada. No, I don't see God. How can you prove me God exists? And the system is being managed by God. So Prabhupada said, you do not know logic. What do I tell you? And this man was adamant. No, I want you to prove logically God exists. Prabhupada said, you do not know logic. Again the man said, no, I want you to prove logically God exists. Then Prabhupada said, there is nature, which you call mother. We all call mother nature. And you are the child of the mother nature. So there is a mother, there is a child, there has to be father. And that father is God. There is your logic. Take it now. See, such a powerful answer. Nature we call mother nature. We are the child of mother nature. Where is our experience, commonsensically, logically, that without the father, the child will come just by the mother? And that is God. In another place, Prabhupada also said, he asked the disciples, how can you prove me logically without using scriptures God exists? And the first argument that came up was, Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita says Krishna is God. And Prabhupada said, no, I said no law, no scriptures. And then somebody said, no, Prabhupada, you are saying that God exists. Prabhupada said, people might say I'm just an old man. So like that they kept on saying, but Prabhupada kept on giving alternate points. Finally, Prabhupada said, see, you have a father, you came from father, and your father, he came from his father, but you have not seen. Your grandfather came from his father, you have not seen any of that, but if you ask any of them, they will say they came from the father. So like that, if you go all the way, ultimately, the person, the origin is Lord Brahma. He will say, I came from Narayana. And Narayana himself is the expansion of Krishna. So therefore, the ultimate Anadihi, the person from where everything originates, that person is God. Then one might say, oh, where did God originate from? Isn't it? That is another classical argument. Oh, if you say God is the one starting everything, where did God come from? So it is like asking, can you draw me a square circle? It's ridiculous, isn't it? How can you draw a square circle? You can either draw a square or a circle, but how can you draw a square circle? By definition, it is incorrect question. It doesn't exist. Similarly, asking that where did God from is a meaningless question because the definition of God is the origin of everything. We are saying Anadi. Anadi means he does not have origin. And it is confirmed by scriptures. Krishna himself personally says, Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. And our logic also, you see, a building has, say, a skyscraper. Top floor is resting on the bottom floor is resting on a floor beneath it, and it comes all the way, and there is a foundation. You cannot say what is beneath the foundation. That is the resting place. It has to stop there. So like this, we have to have faith and take this logic, believe that God exists, this personalities exists, nature exists, and therefore the scriptures say Ishavashyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magradha kasya svidhanam. Everything is owned and order controlled by the Supreme Lord Krishna. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever is there in this universe, in this material manifestation. Therefore, tena tyaktena bhunjita. We should take what is allowed in our quota as our enjoyment. Magridha kasyasvid dhanam. Don't try to take others' quota. If you try to take others' quota, what will happen? You will be punished. That is why this material world, people are being punished through these three kinds of miseries. Just like you go to the jail because you tried to steal others' property, and you are being punished in the jail with all kinds of tribulations. So Maya punishes in this world of jail with three kinds of tribulations: Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, Adhidaivik. Miseries caused by our own mind and body, miseries caused by the others, and miseries caused by the higher demigods, Adhidaivik, in terms of earthquakes, hailstorms, tsunamis, so on and so forth. natural disasters. Because this is a material world, like a jail-like material world, and we don't learn. If we learn how to be happy with our quota of enjoyment, God has made you as a given you human body to utilize this body and go back to Him. Not try to squeeze sense gratification with your fruitive mentality and become culpable for punishment and stay in this material world. So this is what is called avaram karma. Try to get sense gratification or try to get a fruitive result from your work is a lower mentality, is a abominable mentality. Keep that far distant away. Durena hi avaram karma. Become intelligent. Buddhi yoga. Aspire the company of God, association of God. Dharmartha kama moksha kataya. It is like when you have bhakti, it is said like if you are engaged in service of Krishna, this mukti, mukti means liberation from all these material tribulations. People are aspiring for mukti, isn't it? That mukti itself serves you at your gate as a maidservant, folding her hands. What can I do for you? When people are all aspiring for mukti, for a bhakta, mukti is there by default. Muktihi mukhalitanjale sevate asman. What to speak of dharma, artha, kama, moksha? So we don't have to worry about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Dharma, don't mistake this dharma means people usually perform dharma for the sake of getting artha, wealth. That's not the right dharma. Dharma means sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. That is right dharma. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport. One who has actually come to understand one's constitutional position as an eternal servitor of the Lord gives up all engagements save working in Krishna consciousness. That is the right dharma. Any other dharma is Kaitava dharma. Any other dharma will make us motivated for ardha, then kama, and even moksha, impersonal moksha. But Krishna consciousness includes all of them. Mat sevaya pratitam te salokyadi chatushtayam nechanti purnaya kimanyat kala viplutam sevaya purnaha. My devotees are completely full in my service. Sevaya purnaha. And even though they are given opportunity to get liberation, Salokya the Chatushtayam, Salokya, Samipya, Sarshti, Sarupya. These are the four ways we can be with God. Salokya means in the same world, same planet as the Lord. Samipya means in the personal vicinity of the Lord. Sarshti means having the opulence like the Lord in Vaikuntha. Sarupya means having the bodily form like the Lord. So Vaishnavas get these four kinds of liberation. But it is said that one who is engaged in the service of Krishna becomes so full, matsevaya pratitam te, matsevaya purnaha, they won't even care for these four kinds of liberation. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, it doesn't matter, my Lord, wherever you keep me. Mama janmani janmani ishware, in whatever form you keep me. Bhavatad bhakti rahai tuki tvai. Give me your causeless devotional service. So one who is full in Krishna consciousness won't even care for liberation. What to speak of? Kimanyat kama viplutam. These kama, the desires or the profits you seek from your fruitive actions, they're temporary. So how a devotee will aspire for those? Or one should not aspire for those. Be satisfied in serving the Lord. And as I was saying, When you serve the Lord, all these demigods, they worship Bhuta. I was talking about these. You have obligations to the demigods because they are providing heat and light and fire and so on and so forth. You have obligations towards the rishis because they have given so much of knowledge through scriptures. They do so much of sacrifices, yagnas for our peace and prosperity. They worship Bhuta Apta. We have relatives, forefathers, Pitrunam, other living entities like the cows who give milk. So we have obligation for all these things to live happy life. Don't think that I am happy, I don't have an obligation to anybody. For you to live properly, so many people in the ecosystem are contributing, and we have an obligation, we have a duty towards all of them. The parents, forefathers, devatas, rishis. Oh my God, now what to do? How do I take care of all these obligations? So the answer is given. Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam. One who takes shelter of Krishna completely and does what is ordained by Krishna, that obligations are all absolved. One stroke, take Krishna consciousness, you are absolved from all these obligations. So who is intelligent? Who tries to do his own activity, get the fruitive result, and try to take care of our. Usually, people don't take care of obligations. And even if you try to take care of obligations yourself, it's so hard, isn't it? Especially in Kali Yuga. The only smart path is Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada, that's what he says. Buddhi Yoga means transcendental loving service to the Lord. Such devotional service is the right course of action for the living entity. Only misers desire to enjoy the fruit of their own work, just to be further entangled in material bondage. Except work in Krishna consciousness, all activities are abominable because they continually bind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. That is why it is avaram karma, it will bind you, whereas Krishna consciousness will liberate you. One should spend all energies working in Krishna consciousness, and that will make one's life successful. So why they are being called misers, krupanaha? Like we have an asset. The asset is our body. And if you don't use the asset in expanding your business, you are called miser. You are hiding it inside, and it will lose its value because of inflation. But you have to smartly engage it, increase it, use that value, invest it. So our human body should be invested wisely in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, you are called a miser, kripanaha. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to unmute yourself. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.